Say hi. She doesn't want to say hi. You want her back? Poor Ralph. He doesn't look happy. Don't do that. Here. Should I let her go? Poor Ralph.
I hate my life.
Hi everyone. Welcome to the Positively Crafting Podcast. My name is Nicole, and it has been difficult for me to find time to sit down and talk to you guys, but today is Sunday the 3rd of July. It's a holiday weekend. Stu's gone. The boys are upstairs chillaxing. Laundry's going. Dishes are going. And I have time to sit down and talk to you. So let's get into this. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about what I've been crocheting, about my continued obsession with bread, and I wrote it down. Can you believe it? I actually had time to write show notes. And about some sewing that I did, and as usual we'll end with a positive thought. So I have been using yarn, haha. And what I've been using yarn on is this right here. I was feeling like I needed to crochet something, anything. I follow a lady on Instagram. Her name is Suregal. That's her Instagram name. Her name is Susan, and she's been making these lovely, lovely, lovely things, squares, and it's intarsia. So that's a color work technique that she's using in crochet. You can you do intarsia, knitted or crochet, and she's doing crochet because that's what she basically does. Okay, and I was getting very inspired, and my hands were itching, and I'm like, oh, I need to do something. I found myself stuck in bed for a second on like a Tuesday or something crazy, and I was like, oh well, let me find something to crochet, because for me crochet takes a little less effort to do than knitting. I don't know why. So maybe it's because it's one hook, and anyways. So I went and looked on Ravelry, and I was looking at my past projects to see what would inspire me, and I came across an Afghan that I made for my niece back in 2014. So that was 2 years ago. And the name of the Afghan is the Desert Sunrise Afghan by Carol Ventura. You can find the project page for this pattern on Ravelry. However, if you want to get the pattern for the project, it is only available in book form, and the name of the book is called Unexpected Afghans, and you can buy that on Interweave or Amazon only as a digital book. If you're lucky enough to find it in print and you like print books, get them. I managed to buy mine 2 years ago around Christmas time, and it was on a super amazing deal, because right now I think the book is between $14 and $17, which to me is a lot to pay for a digital book. Okay, maybe not 14, but $17, that's like, I don't know what the $3 is. Okay, but that's just me, my weirdness. Anywho, I was looking at the project, and I was like, that was a really fun thing to crochet. I should do it again. I have a bunch of yarn, a bunch of stash yarn, and a bunch of colors. So I got out of bed, I ran down, I grabbed a whole bunch of colors, some neutrals, some grays and blacks and pinks and blues. No purples. And then I took them upstairs, and I set them down, and I started crocheting. Well, actually, I had to go up in the loft and print out the project. And this is the good thing about having an ebook. Number one, I don't have to store it anywhere. Space is limited here. So being able to go upstairs and download the PDF book from Interweave and print out just what I want is great, right? So that's what I did. And then I went upstairs and did all that. So the first color that I started in was this center color, and it is... you see it? A beautiful, beautiful cream color. Now, the yarns that I'm making this with is, I can't remember because a lot of them are stashed. Well, I'm saying I can't remember, but I'm pretty certain that the middle is Vanna's Choice, and it's a cream color. For a more accurate picture, I did post, when I started working on this, a beautiful picture of it, on Instagram. So follow me on Instagram, and you'll be able to see this and a lot more, okay? So I think this tanny color right here, I think this is Bernard. If not, it's a Karen's pound of, Karen's, what is it called? Karen's 1 pound ball of yarn, skein yarn. Anyways, and this beautiful coppery color is Vanna's Choice, and then this one right here too is also a Vanna's Choice. The only Vanna's Choice one that I know for a fact the name of the color is this one, and this is this. I keep hearing a cat messing around on my couch. He's about to get in trouble. Okay. Sorry, you guys. I'm sorry, you guys, but my husband, if you guys see earlier in the episode, my husband found kittens in his garage and was like, make him like me, Nikki, because this one that looks like a Siamese cat, I want to keep her. She has blue eyes. Her name is Zinka. Her brother is Theodore, and we are hit capacity at Mundale North. No more animals at all. Ever. Okay. Especially kids. Okay. Anywho, the one color that I know for sure the name of is this color right here, and this is called Honey. This is a Vanna's Choice color, Honey. And the reason I know this color is because I was running out of it, and I wasn't going to have enough to go do my next, to do what I needed. Like, this is how much I had left. So I went to Joann's and I bought another ball, and this was on sale for like $2.50, which is really good. Vanna's Choice yarn can get a little pricey, and there's only about 170 yards. Where is it? There's only about, yeah, look at me. I got a problem. Anyways, there's only about 170 yards in a ball. So I'm going to use roughly 2 balls of this, right? And then the next color, this brown color, if you can see right here, this is also a Vanna's Choice. I have 2 balls of these, so hopefully that'll be enough. If not, they still carry this color. And at Joann's, I saw it. It is the next color, brown, behind this one. So if you go to your Joann's and you want these, then those are the colors, okay? Okay. So the size hook that I started on, let me tell you guys. Well, let me just skip to but the technique that's going on. So to make this Afghan, it's going to be an Afghan, right? So to make this Afghan, you need to do a technique that is called tapestry crochet. Tapestry crochet is basically a color work technique where the yarn that is not being used is carried alongside alongside the yarn that's being used, and the yarn that is being used crochets over the yarn that's not being used. Does that make any sense at all? Probably not. So if you guys are interested in doing tapestry crochet, what you should do is go to YouTube. This is how I learned. You go to YouTube and you put in the search engine tapestry crochet, and also I think Carol Ventura, who made this pattern, she has videos on YouTube, so you can put her name in there, or you can even go on Ravelry and put in the search engine tapestry crochet, and all the patterns that use this technique will pop up, and maybe there's something in there that you might like to do. Now, as far as learning to tapestry crochet, it was once I got down the basic of crocheting, this technique came in the round. It's easy. But back and forth, I have a problem with it. My floats show pretty badly. But I don't care. But in the round, it is so much fun, right? To know how to make this Afghan, you need to know how to single crochet, to change colors, and that is just as easy as dropping one color and picking up the next. To read from a chart or a written pattern. That is the beautiful thing about this certain pattern in this book, is that it comes in both chart and written form. I am working off the chart because I like it. And it's a lot less for me to print out. It's like 1 page as opposed, it really is 1 page. So I printed out 1 page as opposed to printing out 3 or 4, which saves on ink because ink is gold. Okay. And then you might need some stitch markers And here are mine. I use my stitch markers to mark the beginning, which green means go for me. The beginning and end, especially when there is no connecting. The rows are worked in a spiral, as this is. And when I'm really done crocheting for the day, I will take an extra stitch marker and put it inside of the last stitch so it won't come out. Okay? Now, so far so good with the project. The colors were chosen, well, the cream colors I chose just immediately off the bat. They were what I was drawn to. I was at a loss for the next color. I sent a picture of all the colors that I pulled, the blues, the reds, all of that, right, to my husband, and he picked the next color, which pretty much set up the tone for this project. So the idea is a bunch of neutrals, and it is just by coincidence that this looks really good on my couch, because I was really going to give this to my in-laws for Christmas. So that means that I could get a jump start on Christmas projects, because I have been quilting for them for the last couple of holidays. So it's time for something made out of yarn, I think. However, my husband loves this, which means his parents will not be getting it, which means I may be making another one. And I don't think I'll be making one in these colors. So the plan is to go from light to dark, right? So the creams to this honey color to this darker brown, and the next brown I have is this one, right? I tried really hard in Joann's to find a color that came in between these two. If I could have found a color, that would have been awesome, but I can't, and I need, let me see, I need 2 more colors. So after this one, I have this one, and I need 1 more color, and I think the very last color is going to be black. That will keep in the neutral scheme. It will match my house, my home. So we'll see. So keep your eye out for that. It's so fun. If you guys have ever thought about doing some tapestry crochet, go ahead and do it. If you see, like where I am, this would make a good size pot holder. Oh, not holder. I was thinking a pot holder and a coaster. But I think it would make a good placemat, or what do you call it? A coaster for like a vase or anything. I think it would look really good. If you make 2 of this size and sew them up, these would make super cool pillows. Like and if you did it in because now my mind is going all over the place. And if you did it in fingering weight yarn and you sew them together, that would make such a cute ornament. So the possibilities are endless. Do not limit yourself to just what the pattern is. Let's think outside the box and get a bang for your buck. Oh, I wanted to talk to you guys about the hook I'm using. So, yeah, the last one that I made, I was a good girl, and I put my hook size on Ravelry. Yay! So I knew that I used an M or an N. However, those hooks have disappeared. I think they went to the dump on my old couch. I don't know. So I had to just try to figure out what I had and then use what I had. So I have a couple of size hooks from L to N. Now these hooks need to be pretty big because you're sewing over and you want to make room, and I don't know, but this is what the pattern calls for, and it works. I was doing swatches, can you believe it? And by swatches, I mean I just started sewing with certain hooks and I didn't like it, the way the hook felt or whatever, and I ripped it out. So none of the hooks that I had, I worked, but this L. And this size L hook, which I don't even love, right, it's a Bowie, B-O-Y-E hook. And it was the one that worked the best in my hand. It's what I had, but I cannot get down with this little hooky tippy thing at the bottom. I don't like it. It just catches. It doesn't work with the way that I hold my needles, my hook. It just does not. So I went to Joann's when I was picking up this, and I bought this with a coupon, half off. because the last hooks I used were plastic. They feel better in my hand. They're lighter, which means I can probably crochet for longer. I'm excited. I'm also going to, since this is an L, that means that if I kept going with an L, my finished project would be smaller than the original one. And as we're standing now, it's going to be smaller just because the center is smaller. But I'm really going to up the size to a, what is this? An M or an N. I haven't decided which. I'll see what it looks like, and that's it. The beautiful thing about making things for yourself is that you can do whatever you like. It's yours, right? Okay. So that's that. Now, I wanted to talk to you guys about... Give me a second. Okay. My continued obsession with bread. I am still making bread with my family, and the more I make bread, the more into it I get. A couple of weeks ago, I did order a bread basket that makes the spirals, right? I think it's called a Benetton. Anyways, I ordered it off of Amazon because that was the only place that I can find it that was within a reasonable price range. I have yet to use it, but having it makes me happy. And it's more for rustic types of breads, right? So when I was looking at YouTube tutorials trying to find different types of bread to make, I came across a guy who has some videos, and his name is Ken Forkish, which is a great name if you're like into food, right? He has a shop in Oregon, where a pastry shop, okay? And he was showing how he does breads, just little YouTube tutorials about his way of making breads. And for a more in-depth example, or for more in-depth knowledge about how he makes bread, he said you should look at my book. Well, all right. So I went and found the book. The book is called Flour, Water, Salt, Yeast, the Fundamentals of Artisan Bread and Pizza. This book is beautiful. I love it. I found it on Amazon. I ordered it. And I love everything about it. I read this book. This book talks about, in this book, Ken talks about how he started, and how he opened his bakery, how he went from his desk job to, trying to make the bakery work, and the struggles that he had. And then he really gets down into talking about all the minute principles of bread, the flour, everything. I have like 3 or 4 other bread books, and they do talk about it, but for some reason I didn't see that it wasn't readable to me. But his wording, the way he talks about it, it's just very relatable and very easy to get into. Now, having said that, I have yet to get to make some bread out of here, because he has you making bread in large batches. Although there is a such thing as math. Imagine that, like bread maker's math, and you can totally break down the recipe. He gives you the percentages, and you can break down the recipe, and that way you can make smaller batches. But I'm just very stubborn, and I want to make bread how he makes bread, so I need to get a couple of more things. I need to get just a bigger tub to mix everything up. But other than that, I'm set. But before I even start making things, much like I do when I start a new crochet project or a new technique, I really, really research it to death, and then I get up and I start it. So this book, I highly, highly, highly recommend it, just for the good read and just for the knowledge. But if you don't want to invest in a book, then you should totally check out YouTube. And so that's what I've been baking still, right? And this weekend I need to bake just some regular, it's called enriched bread, and it's enriched because you use milk. Yeah, you use milk in it. So I need to make some of that because my family eats that. And once, you guys, after you make your own bread, especially the enriched bread, Wonder Bread and everything just pales in comparison. There was a time when everyone couldn't make bread, and then there was a time when everyone did make bread, and now we're back to everyone's not making bread. And it is just really easy to get started. You don't need a lot. You don't need, a huge kitchen. And one of the things that really helps in bread is time. So I'll put some links into the Ravelry group if you guys are really interested in it. If you're on YouTube, just do a search, okay? Okay. So let's get on to what I've been sewing. One of the ladies that I follow on Instagram put up a swap. She was having a swap, and it's a fabric postcard swap, which is good because I had just seen a tutorial about doing fabric postcards on YouTube. Can you tell that I love me some YouTube? And the site was Man Sewing, right? He did a tutorial on it. And I was like, oh, that looks fun. It'll be good to send, and it would be a really good thing to send for a change for Christmas. So instead of like a fabric postcards, you can send fabric Christmas cards. You can use some scraps, and just to, to your crafty friends, it'd be good to send. And it's super fun to make. And if you are hoarding certain scraps and you don't know what to do with them, I think this would be a good use for them, right? So I'm like, okay, I've never made a fabric postcard. I haven't been in a swap for years, so let me do this. It was a small swap. The only thing that you needed to send was the fabric postcard, and that's it. My type of swap, no extras. So I got the swap. I got my partner, and it's not in the United States. That's all I can say because I don't know if she's going to watch this. So I got my partner, and then I went and checked out her Instagram account, and her aesthetic is completely not my aesthetics. I think that I am more of a traditional, as far as color goes, but I'm more a traditional quilter. Excuse me, Marie. Jesus. Sorry, you guys. Let me tell you, I have been trying to shoot this podcast for like an hour. I got a phone call, or probably more than an hour. Kids, phone calls, barking dogs, cats. It's been crazy, but I will finish this. Okay. So I checked out my partner's aesthetic, and it's not mine. Color-wise, it just isn't. And I got intimidated for all of 1 second because I was like, I'm going to take this woman's aesthetic and make it my own, and I'm going to own it. So, pulled scraps, and then just started making cards. So this is the first one that I made. This fabric I bought, last year sometime. I'm sure from so-and-so. And it's a gradient, from a shop down in Reseda called Candies. And this fabric is a gradient, and I just went and used the gradient. And this text fabric, I love it to death. I should have brought like 50 million yards, but I couldn't get it on sale. So all I did was took my favorite text fabric and some colorful fabric because she likes colors, and I started to do just a slash and sew. So I made a rectangle, I cut into it, and I sewed pieces together, and then at the very end I sewed them all together, and I took the size of the postcard, which is 4 inches by 6 inches, and I laid it over a certain spot, and I liked the spot, and I cut that out, and this was my postcard. The backing I made yellow, and what I'm going to do is draw the center line down and put put her address and a message, and that's it. And that's the postcard. And of course you have to have a place for postage. I don't know about mailing this international because one of the ladies in the swap put it inside of an envelope, and I might do that. These would be really, really, really cute though, as just little tiny quilts or even coasters. They're just cute. So this was the first one I made, and I was very happy with it. I just put it together. Oh, in the inside I'm using some Pellon craft text that I got from Joanne. Never buy the stuff full price. Please, please, please use a coupon. Not that it's super expensive, but it's the craft fusible interfacing. That means one side has glue on it, one side doesn't. I think I glued I think I put the front side to the fusible, and the back side, I put the front side in a box down, and I took some quilt basting spray and just sprayed over, picked it up, and then I slapped it on this yellow fabric, and I left it like that until I could figure out what I wanted to do for the how to finish it off. Did I want to do a binding? Did I not want to do a binding? Then I made, I had already made a pumpkin I showed you guys, and I had some of the pumpkin fabric left over, and I haven't even put the backing on this one because I don't know where it's going to go or what it's for, because this is not her aesthetic. But I was like, oh, I had some fabric left over. Let me make a postcard. You see how cute this is? Huh. So I made this into a postcard, and then I was thinking, oh, well, I wonder if I can sew little tiny lines straight. Of course I can't. And then I'm like, well, maybe I can do it like a foundation paper piecing technique and use sheet paper as line paper as the template. And that's what I did. So I took strips of fabric and I put them on the wrong side of my line paper, turned over, sewed on the lines, and I cut it less than 1/4 of an inch, and then flipped it back and kept going. If you guys want to know about foundation paper piecing, like I said, YouTube is amazing. So, and this is what I came up with. And I made the back just the plain old muslin, cheap muslin, right? Then I was like, oh, well, I should do like a cutout technique, and that's what I did with this one. So this was just scrap fabric and scraps left over from the first one, and I just recycled that. And yeah, so for this one I was thinking about, like, I should write hi or something in fabric, or in fabric ink, or in use a micron pen, which is archival ink, and I can write hi or put a heart in there or something, but I just didn't. So these are my fabric postcards. I love them. I have not mailed them, and we're going to mail them this Friday. After that, I'll let you guys know how it goes. I don't know which one I'm going to send her, or if I'm going to send her more than one. It may be this one. This is way more her aesthetic. This one Stu likes. What is he going to do with it? But I'll probably keep it. And this one might be sent too. To finish the ends, all I did was take some thread and do a zigzag around the sides. And I went around twice. I shortened the length of the zigzag, and that was it. So it's done. It was super, super, super easy. These would be super cute too. Look at these. If you tie them up, put a cute bow on there, you can give them to someone for a Christmas present. Cheap, inexpensive. Cheap and inexpensive. Aren't they the same thing? Well, these are inexpensive and they're super duper duper cute. If you have a kid that's going to camp or anywhere, or even a friend that's going off to college or something, and you want them to write you, put your address on a couple of these. I'm just saying. All right, you guys. So for the positive thought of this episode, I have been listening to one of my favorite audio podcasts, and it's on Bean. And I thought that I would bring you guys a quote from the, the host of On Bean. Intelligence alone does not get us where we need to go, or even necessarily where we want to go. For that, the human creature must exercise hard-won capacities of wisdom and wise action. So, exercise those capacities, okay? And I hope you do this whole week, or until the next time I see you. And I hope you have a wonderful week knitting, crocheting, sewing, baking bread, not breaking bread, not quilting, petting your animals, doing whatever makes your heart happy. And I hope that you guys will join me next time here in my house in my son's old shirt while I'm in the middle of cleaning up. But here, back in my house, where I'll be positively crafting. Bye.